Timothy Colin Smith, born October 15, 1983, is an Australian politician in the Victorian Legislative Assembly, serving as the member for Kew since 2014. Smith grew up in Camberwell, in the inner east of Melbourne. Smith's maternal grandfather, Bob Ferguson, began a partnership with Ralph Plar to form Ferguson Plar Bakehouses. Smith's father, Colin Smith, rode in the bus seat for Australia's first World Championship team, winning the 1974 World Rowing Championships in Lucerne. In Year 9 he moved to rugby school in the UK, playing for their first 11 cricket team. On returning to Scotch College, Melbourne for his Year 10, Smith decided to follow his father's footsteps and take up rowing. He attended the University of Melbourne and Ormond College, where he undertook a Bachelor of Arts in History and Politics. At university, he competed with Melbourne University Boat Club, representing his state of Victoria and gaining selection to the Australian rowing team. At the conclusion of his rowing career, he returned to the University of Melbourne, where he undertook a Masters of International Politics. As part of this degree, he won a Hansard Research Fellowship to study at the London School of Economics. Smith was selected to row for Victoria for the Youth 8s team at the Australian Rowing Championships in 2002 to 2003. He was selected for the Victorian Lightweight 4 to contest the Penrith Cup at the Interstate Regatta 2002 to 2004. He placed second in 2002. Smith made his Australian representative debut in 2003 at the World Rowing Cup 3 in Lucerne in a lightweight quad scull. That quad went on to the 2003 U23 World Rowing Championships in Belgrade, where they placed fourth. In 2004 he moved into the Australian senior squad in the lightweight 8. That boat rowed to bronze medal at the 2004 World Rowing Championships in Banyoles, Spain. At the 2005 World Rowing Championships in Gifu, Japan, he competed in the lightweight coxless 4. He was made an Australian Institute of Sport Residential Scholar for 2006, based in Canberra. At the 2006 World Rowing Championships at Eden, Dorney, he competed in the lightweight coxless spar and finished in 4th place. In the years he was most active, 2001 to 2006, the boat position he frequently took was bus seat, who sets direction, while the stern sets the pace. He sustained a significant back injury in the lead-up to the 2006 World Championships. Smith retired due to this injury. Following his sporting career, Smith looked at becoming a journalist, and began an internship with the Canberra Press Gallery. He had joined the Liberal Party in 2005, and realized that he was too partisan to ever report impartially. "I thought, no, I can't do this because I'm barracking." He took roles as a political advisor in Australia and United Kingdom. His first role was in 2006 as an electoral officer for Michael O'Brien, who was then the member for Melbourne and the Shadow Minister for Gaming. In 2007, after completing a short course at LSE, Smith worked as a researcher for the UK Shadow Home Secretary, David Davis. He returned to Australia in 2008 and briefly worked for Malcolm Turnbull when he was leader of the opposition. Smith also staffed for Veterans Affairs Minister Bruce Bilson. A year after his election as a councillor for the city of Stonington, Smith was elected as the youngest mayor of Stonington. His relationship with the state government was adversarial, particularly after Smith decided to urge motorists to ignore clearway signs which Victorian government had erected in his municipality. In 2012, following his time as mayor, Smith worked as a management consultant in strategy and operations with Deloitte and a senior consultant working with the CEO of PricewaterhouseCoopers. Smith defeated Mary Wooldridge for Liberal pre-selection for the seat of Kew and won the seat in the going on to the 2014 Victorian state election. He became the youngest member of the Parliamentary Liberal Party. He has held a number of positions in the Liberal Party's shadow cabinet and in the Parliament. From December 2018, he was Shadow Minister for Planning and Heritage, for Local Government, for Housing, and for Population. At this time, Smith began raising his public profile with regular media appearances with John Fane on Radio Melbourne and on ABC TV show The Drung. He was also published in the Australian and Herald Sunday following the revelation that the source of the virus was possibly a bat in a Wuhan wet market. Some constituents in Kew began calling for a cull of bats near the Yarra River. Smith advocated for these people, but said whether that's drastic action, like a cull, or simply moving the bats on, is a matter for authorities. The concern was described as ridiculous by one expert. Smith was also briefly prominent in the media for his personal attacks on Premier Daniel Andrews' response to the pandemic. In June 2020, following Black Lives Matter demonstrations in Melbourne, Smith criticized the government for not banning the protest,